Good morning, everyone, and I am here this morning, and I'm here for an interview with one of the great people that I know that I grew up with. And today we are going to come at you and talk to you about so many different things. But I'm here with Coach Jen, and Coach, I greatly appreciate you joining me and taking
Thank
time out
you.
of your morning and your day. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Blessed as always.
That's great to hear. And we are here. I'm here bringing the people, bringing you to the people for a lot that you've brought me into with the youth, and we are here to give the people a word about the youth. And I have put in a few questions to ask you before we got into some of those things as well. Um,
Okay.
the one question that I wanted to start with was I wanted you to tell me a little about your upbringing and how it shaped you to want to give back the way you have, because we talked a lot about the youth and the aspect of giving back, and people talk about money all the time, and it starts, I feel like, with time. And
Yeah.
give us a little bit about your.
So I was raised with only mom. It was just me and my mom, my little sister. My mom worked a lot, so she really couldn't be at home with me. And so I would spend a lot of time with my best friend. I grew up most of my like the earlier part of my life in the suburbs, and then when I got to middle school,
Mhm.
I met Coach JoJo and all of my beautiful friends from the Windsor Terrace. And I spent pretty much the rest of my adolescence down that way. Um, I was basically raised to always help people. We spent a lot of time at church. My mom always made sure I was at church and every Sunday, and she taught me like, we're here to help our neighbors. But my mom was a teacher through for about 30 years. So she was a pre-K teacher. So I think it just kind of rubbed off on me. And when I say like I spent a lot of time in the Windsor Terrace area. We spent most of our summers like at the pool, at the centers. We went like all my friends boxed or played some type of sport. So it just kind of was in me.
I agree. And when you say back in what, I'm 40, we're 40 now, in our 40s. And
42.
you say
I'm
back in
42.
middle school, same as here. Same here. You say back in middle school. I remember way back then at the Million Middle School, meeting you in class, and I felt that your name was. I was like, I thought it was Genevieve, and when I
Mm-mm.
heard the teacher say it, I said it has to be some meaning to that name, which brings me to date today, and the day when I was on Facebook scrolling, and I pay attention to so many different things, and I remember seeing a few different posts over the past years and seeing you when you would drop off young children during the time of the pandemic. You would have a car, you would shuttle children to and from school. And
Yep.
at that moment, I said, I wonder if Miss John Viev could be the person that could be someone I would look to drive for what I was thinking at the time. I was thinking of this then, to work with the youth and give back in different ways. So seeing you then, which brings us to today, I tapped your inbox and said, let's sit down for coffee. Not knowing that when we sat down for coffee, that we would sit down for 3 hours and actually plan everything that is going on
About to
with
go
the
down.
youth today and what is about to happen this summer. And WTP Sports Dudes, we appreciate you watching. And he has a few questions for you as well. And he said, how gratifying is it to work with young people?
It is so I'm like it's an overwhelming feeling. It is like it's filling up your cup every time it don't matter where you're coming from. You could be coming from work or no matter what type of week you've had. As soon as you get to engage with kids and really spend like quality time with kids, it fills your cup back up. I cannot. I mean, it's just a wonderful feeling.
I totally agree. And the when you say that, it gave me chills because when I started back in November, um, getting things going with the coaching, and then coming in these next few months, you know, after a few weeks and things moving in a different way, and I sat back and almost cried one night. And when one door closed, another opened. And I want to thank you. I know in our first interview, and I'd send you messages all the time thanking you about that. You opened the door for me, and it was like, man, that just it filled me up because I almost cried when I felt the door close, and then when it opened, it was tears of joy. So for me, I just want to say thank you for allowing me to bring the kids that I was working with into your building, which we are about to talk about, and be able to
Jojo,
continue in what they're doing. I honestly
you are
appreciate
being
you.
modest. I swear, like y'all don't understand this man. I completely understand how it feels and how important it is to um be effective and like make an impact and just basically give your time to kids. And JoJo is definitely he is that he's that prime example. And I'm not. I mean, I'm. It's good that you got to work over there at Windsor, and you still um are with the children over there and everything. But we are so thankful to have you over at Linden Rec Center. Like the program was moving at a turtle's pace. It's just me and I'm coming in there every day, and it's just me and Coach Tanner. The kids, and then the weather hasn't been so good either. But
Right.
um, we thank you. You brought you brought everyone with you, and that says a lot about you because you're leading them and they're following you. Like whatever you say, they like, okay, yep, we on our way. That says a lot about you because they trust you.
Yeah,
So we thank you. I thank you because I couldn't do my program without you.
man, I greatly appreciate it. And for me, um, it started with an injury, and I just wanted to give back. I always wanted to, even before then. And I said, it got to start with my time. All I got right now is time. I
Yeah.
have the time available to give back in that way. And the opportunity came, and I said, this is God speaking in so many ways to get back involved. This is what you've wanted to do. This is, been something that you've done your whole life. You know what you're doing. So for me,
Yeah.
it was I just wanted to be involved. I worked with kids when I was younger, up until
Mm,
my mid 20s, and I just feel the need to get back with it because if I can have an impact on a youth, why not be youth to where I grew up at in my own neighborhood, to where I know some of the similar things that they're dealing with. I was able to have a
absolutely.
mom and dad, growing up. So for me, some of the things that I didn't see other people seeing looking in, I'm
Yeah.
seeing a lot of things that I can put out, and spread love to the kids to where 10, 20 years from now, they may be youth leaders. They may be nurses.
Yeah.
They may be lawyers. They may be doctors. We may even have a couple athletes. I feel that
Absolutely.
we
I can't
definitely
wait to see
have,
what these
man,
kids. I can't wait to see it.
I'm definitely ready for it. And then the next question we have for you was, can you share a story that warmed your heart while working with young people?
Um, First thing that comes to my mind is I had a young lady. Her name was Isabella when I was doing my transporting service. Um, and her dad is a single dad, so he got 7 kids. The mom she just decided, she didn't want to do her duties. So the man was raising his kids by himself, and I would pick these kids up. My whole goal for my transporting was to make sure that my moms and dads didn't have to quit their jobs, change their schedules, whatever. So not only just being available for my daughter, I was available for the kids in the neighborhood, which is like the Sharon Woods area. So one of my kids, Isabella, she was having a rough time.
Right.
Um, but I was more like a mother figure for her, and I just remember um, she was like having suicidal thoughts and that type of thing. And I just remember coming to her house and like talking to her. Like she was acting out a lot at that time. Some days will be good, some days will be bad. Some days she'd get
Right.
in the car with me, not say nothing. And then other days it would be like just, she would be normal. But
Yeah.
this one particular day, I just remember going to her house like after school. And after the route and everything was over, and I told her, I had her older sister come to the door, and I told her, come outside and
Yeah.
talk to me. And I said, I don't want you to ever feel like you can't come talk to me. I don't want you to feel like you're not needed in this world. I don't want you to feel like it's that, life is that difficult to where you just need to give up.
Yeah.
And suicide ain't nothing to play with. Like, that's not nothing you joke about,
No, not
you
at all.
know. So it was just important to me that day to make sure that she knew that I love her,
Hmm.
and that don't keep stuff from me. You see, I'm with you every single day, every
Yeah.
morning before the sun come up. Like, you always just let me know, like, even if you just want to come and sit with me, we ain't got to talk about nothing, you know. And then from that point on, she kind of was like, all right, let me, kids like to play a lot.
Yeah.
um and I told her, like, man, that's not funny, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so I just remember after that, like, I had left, went off to work because I was working part-time in the evening. And she sent me a text like, Miss Bam, because the kids call me Miss Bam too. She said, I'm sorry. I apologize for how I was acting, and the way what I expressed today. And I just want you to know I'm sorry. But it hurt me. I was torn apart because I'm like, I didn't. You don't realize unless the kids say something. A lot of times you don't know what they're dealing with.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
mean, I totally agree. And just thinking about that when you said a few of those things, I think when we so into what we doing because of the our assignment and our mindset is to give these children, give these youth every bit of what we know we had when we was coming up. We remember
yeah,
after school programs. We remember hanging out with 10 to 20 people,
mhm,
having whether you sitting in front of the house or you sitting up under a tree or you sitting at the park waiting for the pool to open. We remember all of these parts of our upbringing. And
yeah,
with those 3 hours that we sat and had that coffee, there were so many things, and that was a point that we emphasized on just bringing all those things back. And I think that for all those people out there, man, just know that our mission, I feel, is to do just that. People in our community know us very well, and I don't know, once I left from having that coffee, having those 3 hours, that was probably one of the best conversations. I'm gonna say the second best conversation. I can't even really rank them because it's two conversations that
okay,
lasted for those hours, and they are
mhm,
the conversations that I indulge in every day right now today, whether it's through text or through phone calls, being a podcast, and what we are doing with the after school program. So when you have that sense and that feeling in that direction, you just move. And like I
for
said,
sure.
I know you speak on me being humble. That's the only thing I know I can do at times is because I haven't been the best father. I haven't been the greatest father, but through a lot of things that's happened over the last year and wanting to do things in the right way, propelled me to have those relationships a lot better with my children, in which I continue to beat on myself and make sure that I'm doing.
Mhm.
So, that
Absolutely.
conversation, those conversations that we had is definitely, they pour in a whole different way on a just a meaningful level to my life. And
Exactly.
WTP Sports Dudes, he said you shared a very impacting story. Share with those watching how important it is you take time and talk to the youth.
Um, I mean, the thing about what I learned um, when I first went into business for myself, um, was that when these kids was hanging out with me, when I would take them to school or wherever I would take them, because the service was like, they whatever the mom needed me to do, it could be going to practice, whatever.
Yeah,
But it's it's important for them, like it's important for us, because you might just have that 1 hour with them. The way life is now, like
yeah,
you never know what's going to happen. So the little time that you have to take advantage, um, and just be there for them. Sometimes a lot of these kids come from homes where they never get a word in,
yeah,
or they're overwhelmed with responsibilities. Like I had one little girl that every time it was time for me to drop her off, she would be like, Miss Bam, I just want to stay with you. And every now and then I would let her stay with me, but she really just wanted a quiet place.
that's it.
Like she really just wanted to take a nap. She really just wanted just peace and quiet because she was so overwhelmed at home. Like her mom had her, well, they was living with a relative, and then she had a baby. Her mom had just had a baby, so it was like she was, the older kids always look out for the young ones.
Right,
She
right.
just never had any time to herself.
Yeah,
So, and I took it for granted because I'm like, she would be like, "Oh, can I stay with you sometimes?" And I'd be like, "I'm about to drop you off. I got something to do." It didn't click at first,
yeah,
and then I realized, like, no, she needs you. Like, she just needs, I guess, a person that she can like be comfortable in their space with them,
yeah.
and not nobody ask her for nothing.
I totally
So
agree.
it's extremely important. Like if you just get each other, you get each other. You don't even need to say nothing.
Yeah, and for just to second that, you hit on everything. And when you take time and talk to the youth, you have a lot more in common than you think. Like the one thing that I think about is we both have in common with the youth of how they're growing up and the times that they're growing up. But the difference in for us is we can actually navigate in this a lot better than when it was our time growing up, I would say, because of
Yeah,
the differences that they have. We would be able to navigate. And being adults, I think in this time of day for this generation that we have, I don't look at them as a bad generation. You get that all the
mhm,
time. It's just a generation that needs a little bit of time for you to talk to them and see going on in their mind. They might want you to show them the way. They might want us to lead and guide them. So, for me,
yeah,
that's all I try to do. And I know sports was something with me that worked, and I'll bring that to the youth first, and I come with the Coach Carter aspect. Student athlete. There's going to be discipline, and that's the way I feel you have to combat with what's going on. You have to also reward them and
yeah,
giving that time to talk to them so you can understand what's going on inside their brain, because they might need to call you at 10 or 12 o'clock at night. I mean 12 in the morning,
yeah,
because they just need to talk to you, because they know after I get off this phone I could go to sleep because that's all I needed. And
yeah,
I had that instance with a student last week at the game. I didn't see the student. The student had got wasn't in school for a few days. And just seeing that student, man, like you said, my cup was filled. And
hmm
I'm so looking forward to seeing the student tomorrow, as well as the others that It's just something that I look forward to. And now everybody knows. Soon as Wednesday come, they already know I'm going with the kids. It's nothing else.
And I can't wait.
WTP Sports Dudes. He said, Mossberg, how much of a blessing was it to contact with Coach Jan? Man, I was actually, I would say that's probably the biggest blessing this year. Podcast was a blessing last year. This was the biggest blessing this year so far. And I don't think anything is going to amount to it because this blessing has be like I understand the tenfold. It don't have to come in the form of all of a lump sum of money. A tenfold could be folded up and opened up. Here's here's the conversation with the coffee. Here's the sit down with the youth. Here's the 3-on-3 tournament sponsorship. You know,
Yeah.
when I say she's been able to bring one of the biggest, I mean, it's like blessing on blessing because when she told me the other day, she said, Coach Moss, look for that tournament. I'm gonna sponsor your team for that 3-on-3 tournament. I almost cried on the
That's
phone and I told her I was like I was emotional and that blessing meant that I mean I
because it's important to you.
yeah, I can go on and
It's
on.
important. All these things are important to you. It's important to me because it's important to you. I know how important it is to like follow these visions that you have in your mind.
Yeah,
These nobody else, God don't send them to nobody else. He's going to send them to you. And he's going to see what you're going to do with it. But I
yeah,
know how important it is to follow through with something that you envision in your head. And I'm right there with you as far as these kids go. Like, let's do it. Cause I
yeah,
ain't first of all, I mean, it's people out here doing they're doing things, but we're in our neighborhood. This is what we need to be focusing on in our area in the Linden community. And
yeah.
it's so big. Like we got South Linden, North, like it's a big community.
Big community.
So yeah, like whoever we can touch, like come on, let's we have our life sports kids, but we also I want to see the kids from the neighborhood too. Like I want to see what's going on with everybody. And by you bringing the kids from the Windsor Terrace Elementary, like that's everything. That's exceptional. That's everything.
Thank you.
Because that's our
And
home for real. Like that's
yeah,
our. I mean, these babies. These is like what, third generation
third
kids.
generation. Yes, indeed. Third
These the
generation.
kids of our friends. Like so, it's important.
And when when you say exactly what you said, it was like the vision. I didn't realize like I'm talking this vision started a few years ago. Like I said, just think of when you was driving in a pandemic.
Yeah.
That's because I was doing Girls on a Run. At that time, I had ran a couple marathons. So I
Okay.
was already not knowing I was already, the wheels was in motion in a
Mm,
way. And,
yeah.
I moved in the location and I missed my Girls on a Run. But it's just how impactful to bring it back around and still be able to work with
Everything comes
kids.
full circle.
Yeah, it
Like
started then. So, the
yeah.
blessing is bigger than what I even seen, and it's just been bringing me to so many different things and once. And we have BSB Solo says, "Hi, Coach Jan. What up, Moss B? How's it going, Coach Jan? What do you think the biggest obstacle in our community is right now that we need to work on overcoming?"
To be quite honest, the biggest obstacle is it's the lack of, I guess it is the lack of community for some of us. Like some of us, we see these kids out here cutting up and they get to judging them immediately. They don't want to step in and say, hey, how are you today? Do you need anything? I'm a person that be like, do you need anything, baby? Are you hungry?
Yeah,
Like, I want to, like, how the kids aren't walking around upset because they haven't eaten, or they don't know where their mom is, or just things like that. But um I think the biggest obstacles is like lack of resources also, because a lot of times, there are things that are available to us and we don't know because number one, we're not asking, we're not putting in the effort, or it's like it's weird because you have to say these magic words to people in order to get the help that you need,
Yeah,
or they don't take you seriously enough, that type of thing. So
I,
yeah, just lack of resources for real.
yeah, I agree. I would say, being someone that grew up, I was a man, young OG man in the neighborhood, 8 years old, 9 years old. And me personally, I think it's a lot, that we could use in the community. And definitely what you said, exactly that. And some, I just think that regardless of what you're doing in life, the community is going to be there. It's only going to grow, develop. Um, I would like to see the community come together.
Yeah.
Um, One thing I can remember when I played sports was, even growing up, if I'm on 12th Avenue, if I'm on 16th Avenue, if I'm on 22nd, them parents know who I am. And they
Yeah,
making
for
sure
sure.
that I'm in line and doing the things that need to be done to make sure. Now, of course, we grow up and life happens. But when I was young and growing up, I was able to live as a kid. I was able to indulge in having fun at the rec center, going to Jermaine's house, going to Charles Brown's house, Jermaine Baker, that is.
Yeah.
I mean, all my boys, Dewan Noakes, Tyrone, Eric. I mean, we all literally lived in the vicinity of each other. And I think if we could get back to trusting each other, trust thy neighbor,
Yeah.
and understand that it takes a village to raise a child. And my uncle WTP Sports Dudes, who brought the podcast to me, which gives us the ability to do what we're doing today in this interview. Um, he's part of that. He was part of that village that raised me and shaped
Okay.
me. My uncle Parlay Poe, that's in our podcast group, he was part of that village.
Hmm.
They came and supported me even when I was in high school playing basketball. I
Yeah.
didn't know that until hearing it in conversation, just different things. So I
Yeah.
think if we could get back to that,
Hmm.
have a little get together to where it's all about the youth, just bringing the
Yeah.
youth together. Let's go to Windsor Rec and Windsor Elementary School within them two realms of space we have. Let's do something fun for the kids. Let's
For
go
sure.
up to Linden
I would
Community
love
Center.
that.
Let's do something big up there at Linden Community Center where everybody's involved too, as they already been doing. So I think if we get past the 12, the street thing and all of that, and get
Yeah.
back to
It's
how it
so
was
much
when
more
we
than
grew
that.
up, I think it would definitely change a lot moving forward, and it would
Yeah.
give us, at the older age, the ability to come in and do certain things, because some of them, some of us, I'm not going to speak for all of us. Some of us might not want to step into it because of the things, which I understand. I get it.
Yeah.
It's a tough
It's
thing
a
to do.
big job. It's a
Big job.
big responsibility.
But
Yes.
for me, I just want to be able to. I want the people to know that I'm here for the youth. That's what we are here for, to just see them be able to have
Flourish.
life.
Yeah.
Parents, we know your job is hard. It's not easy
Yeah.
being a mom, dad, grandparent. It don't matter. It's not easy. Bring them to us. We'll take that layoff for them few hours.
Yeah.
We'll take those phone calls if need be, to talk to them, to give you a break. Hey, I got you. Just have them call me if they acting up, or if you feel the need. Certain things like that. That's what we here for, and
Yeah.
we got time, and that's what I tell Coach Jen. I've told her. I said I got time.
Yeah.
Because back then they had so much time for us. Why not give back that
They
same time
gave all their time.
to see our community
Yeah.
have a bigger and better impact moving forward? So, that's exactly what we are here for.
Yeah.
Good to see you in here, FanDuel Zig. Fandor Zay said, "What are some of the pressures you face on a day-to-day basis?"
Um, I mean, I think my pressures are just as anyone else. You know, you have for me, it's I'm very hard on myself. I tell JoJo that. I tell people that also. Like,
Very hard on yourself.
my pressures are just like anybody else's. Just wanting to do more, or just always, you know, we have these lists where we write all of these things down, and um, just want to make it. Just wanting to make sure that I'm effective enough in whatever it is, whether it be at work, with my daughter. Um, with my pressure right now is basically with her, like wanting to make sure that she's involved in so many things. Is she interested in this?
Yeah,
Am I paying attention here? Was she like doing this? It's really just like anybody else, like same pressures as anybody else. How
yeah,
effective can I be? Pretty much day to day.
yeah. I would say, for me, I would think, and I know the interview was on you. I would just say, just with the question there, being, and I'm not saying this in any way for it to go out of context, but I'm saying
Go
is
ahead. You good?
my own thought. I'm 6'2". I'm dark skinned. I'm a man. That's a
Okay,
pressure
I
within
get you. I
itself.
got what you're saying. Okay.
That's a pressure within itself.
Yeah, I
Being a
got what you're
dad,
saying now.
working with the youth, because it takes a lot to work with the youth. You're dealing with
Yeah,
a lot of different, whether it's I'm not gonna say attitude. You're just dealing with a lot of different, diverse uh,
yeah,
ways of life, and when you having that mixture and trying to find the best way to give them that outlet, or
yeah,
have that outlet to come to you, but to get that same treatment as everybody. That's
yeah.
a pressure in itself when you're working with the youth. But
I feel like people look at me and they would never think that I'm a coach.
yeah,
I work with kids. I'm an educator. Um, I am like that's my passion. That's what I love. I really don't, and I say this in the most serious way. Like I would rather be with kids than with adults, because kids, and me and JoJo talked about this. Like kids are they are open to new things. Like
yeah,
kids they trust us. Like, kids they have an impact on us that adults don't have. Like
right,
I would much rather be with kids, like, and those are the problems. Like it's like, people look at me and they assume that I'm not intelligent, or that I'm ghetto, or it's just the typical stereotypes, and I'm none of that. Like I am here. I feel like I'm serving in a way that I was put here to serve.
yeah. And when you say that, it's funny because I think when I say what I said about being 6'2" and stuff, because I work with you know a lot of females at times because I'm a cook. So the
Hmm.
one thing, someone came to me and said, "Why is it that people seem to be scared of you?" I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm a gentle giant. I have no idea. Like, I'm the kindest person at heart. You
Yeah,
know, when you grow, it takes growth
yeah,
for steps to happen. I think I've been through a lot of growth in the last year and a half, 2 years, to where the steps that I've been taking is prepared me for a lot, to sit back and
yeah,
say, man, I know I would have done this 6 months ago or a couple months ago, but just the growth in that. So that definitely helps a lot. And that definitely is some great ways to deal with the pressure. And we know, just by what we do working with the
for
youth.
sure.
And he said, Fandor Zay, he said, where would we be without the kids? You want to,
Whew.
you go first.
I was about to
You
say,
want me to go first?
I, go ahead. You could
You
go.
sure? You sure? No, it's on you.
Let me
It's on
just say, let me just say this. So, because of my daughter, and because of me being like the way that I was raised, and the environments that I was in, I've always been like the go getter, hustle type. trying to find some money. What can we do to get a little money in my pocket type thing. And when I had my daughter, I went back to work immediately, and I never stopped working. She was always in daycare. I always had a job, this and this and that. But the older she got, I realized, like, okay, I need to make sure I'm close to home. I got a little girl. Like, I
Yeah,
don't play about my daughter.
right,
So um it was it was a definite decision for me to be like, okay, that's when during COVID, and a lot of parents were struggling and trying to figure out like how, because the buses were like, they just got an F for effort.
yeah,
Um, so I was trying to find a way to like still make sure my daughter got to school and still make sure like I was helping out people around me, because I know how that is. You got to go to work and the kids got to get to school at the same time. How are we going to do this? And
agreed.
so I felt like if I had her right next to me every single day, I could still help out. And that's how that happened. Like, she made being with her, it made me evolve in so many ways. Like, if it wasn't for her, I never would have took that. Like, I never would have been running my business. If it wasn't for her, I never would have started working for the city, because I was looking for a way to still have an income and be close to her. She was going to camp, so I'm like, well, maybe I could help out at the camp.
Right.
But that
Yeah.
opened up so many doors for me. I got to start working with OSU, and I went back to school and study psychology, and I'm still working at it. Um, I've become a leader and a teacher, you know what I'm
Right.
saying, within the community. But that was because of her. That was
Yeah.
because of my kid. That was it.
Yeah.
I'm one of them moms that I do anything for my kid. And that's where it came from.
Man. And that answered the question. I think when it says where would we be without the kids, and for me, just thinking about it,
Lost.
loss. You know,
Yeah.
who knows? Bum on the street for some. We don't know how much the youth helps us. They give us life. They fill our cup. Um,
Mhm.
I ran my first marathon years ago, with my daughter, and that got me back into working with kids. I'm almost 40. I ain't never in my life ran a marathon. Literally,
Right.
I run
Hey.
a
Yeah.
5K marathon. I run it back to back to back years. And I think when it comes to the youth, even back to when I work with youth in Windsor, I had one of my youth who's a grown man now, who's with in a relationship with his woman and doing very good. I called him Double D back then. His name is
Okay.
Darvon, man.
Okay.
And one of the kids I mentored, I bring him up because, me and him kept in contact over years, and just not realizing how much of an effect you are, but them not realizing how much of an effect they are.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
It's because of
he
them.
I got a contact with him, and he came last week with us to the came inside in a meeting with us, and he's ready to come back week after week, and even involve his mom. And it's like, wow, where would we be without the kids?
Yeah.
They do grow up. They don't
Yeah,
forget.
they
They
grow up.
remember, everything, and they want to be a part of things. And it's another student that I had spoke to, Naima Campbell, and she's great at what she do, and as well as Jones. I spoke with Elijah Jones. I've been tapping into the
I
youth
know
that
you've been
I'm
getting
working with,
it in.
and I'm trying to bring them into the fold of what we have going on, because guess what? They know more than what Coach Moss know. Some of the things that
Mhm.
they know, they're gonna introduce me to, because you're always learning every day, and I'm
Yeah.
applaud to see their growth and what they're doing, and being able to bring them with us on this journey and ride. It's just so many things that I think about when it comes to it. So when you say where would we be without the kids, man? For me, I just don't even. That answers itself, man. Like,
Yeah.
these kids is life, and that's even for my own as well. And like I
My
said,
life
not
wouldn't
to
be.
always, yeah, not to always have been there, but to see where life has brought me to now today, and to have all these things going and happening, man,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
He said, "Them Windsor folks are great. We appreciate that as well." WT
Thank you.
Sports and Zen Master Zay. Just one more question that I had for
Okay.
you. And first off, I want to say congratulations, as we are now not just speaking to Coach Jen, we are speaking to your after school program leader at Linden Community Rec Center. What are the things that everyone should look forward to as before and moving forward with our now Coach Jen? And congratulations again. I know
Thank you, JoJo.
last week, last week it wasn't, and look at it happening,
You
man.
being so modest, I swear. It's really
Look at it
because of
happening. Move.
JoJo. It's really because of JoJo.
You,
What our life sports kids,
you
they are
put the
so
work
busy
in.
during the school year, and as much as we were trying to open it up to the community, it just wasn't happening. So I always say, think it's all about timing with a lot of stuff. And JoJo, me and JoJo, I just thought I was thinking one morning, like, wait a minute. JoJo was working over at the school, and it started to slow down over there. And I'm like, why don't we just bring the kids and let them have basketball practice at the Linden Community Center, and then also I get to spend time with them as well. So we got a lot going on. So let me see. So tomorrow, um, and every Wednesday it'll be from 4 to 6. So the kids, like from 4 to 4:30, they get quiet time. They get to do their homework. The enrichment program slash after school program, if you're with me, if you're with Coach JoJo, if you're with Coach Tanner, you're going to have the kids will have the opportunity to do different activities as far as sports. A lot of this stuff is going to be sports related because we want the kids to stay active. We want them to be learning more about themselves and different life skills. So when I say enrichment, it is reading, science, and it is a lot of it. They can do art or whatever. We don't have to do any of that. We can do we do mental health focus. Like right now, I'm focusing on mental health, intentional self care, basically. So that's the activity for this week. But from 5 to 6, basically JoJo got like an hour and a half with his kids that play basketball, or they're gonna do other activities. Um, so as of March 10th, the hiring process will begin for the life sports program. Um, the kids, or well, I'm sorry, the adults can log on to government jobs. Hold on. It's www.governmentjobs.com/careers/Columbus, Ohio. And they have to click on life sports. It's the um, recreation and parks aid for seasonal for life sports.
You said career slot. You said www.governmentjobs.
Yep. .com/careers /Columbus, Ohio. Let me see if I don't want to touch my screen, JoJo, because I don't want
No,
to
you
mess up
good.
the
You
chat.
good. You good. You good. I got you. I got it in here.
All right. So, and then also registration for camp. We are doing the after school program right now, but camp is going to start up in June, like early June. So, like around June 12th. But I cannot stress this enough. The kids in the area, or the moms in the area, when they do registration day, which as of right now is going to be on April 5th. Like I said the other day, me and JoJo will go live again when it gets closer to that time. It is only like for 1 hour. So it's, first come, first served. It doesn't matter if the kids were there before they, It's whomever signs up, whoever gets registered. Early registration, when we hold these clinics, I mean, we got clinics on Fridays and Saturdays. And if the kids come out, they are accredited, and that helps them with early registration. Okay, so we want them to attend 3 clinics. They still have um, about 6 clinics left. We have, so a good thing about the program, a couple good things about the program. They don't, the moms do not pay. Moms and dads do not pay for this. It's all paid for by the Ohio State University.
By the
Um,
Ohio
they,
State.
right.
You
There's
had
no
to
fees
slide
for this
that in there.
program. Okay.
Huh.
We go on, I'm going to put it out there. We
Zen
go
Matter,
on,
FanDuel like it.
we go on a lot of field trips. We go to the zoo. We go to Zumbizi Bay. We get to watch the Clippers game. When it comes to sports, okay, because the goal with the kids is not really to get them to be like the best players or anything like that, but we do want them to know the fundamentals. We have children that were introduced to certain sports as kids, and then when they go off to high school they end up playing, Division 1 or something like that. They take it further for them, so it's very important for us to introduce it now. So it's basketball, football, soccer, lacrosse, art enrichment with me, which, like I said, is we expand on that. And then they do golf. Like, it's so many things. They do ice skating, hockey. Like, we do it all. Okay. And let me see. There is. I'm gonna put the life sports events calendar in the chat,
Okay.
and that will show the parents or whomever wants to come out. We have different coaching and leadership events. Um, and then different clinics, all the clinics leading up to like the spring game. The spring game, the kids get tickets to the game, and we do a football clinic that morning. So it's just all love.
At the Ohio State University.
Yeah, buddy.
I like it, and it's just like I said, it's just a pleasure to actually be working with you after just not knowing the vision was what it was when I seen you driving. Like my thoughts was trying to reach out to you to see if you were actually still doing the driving because I was looking for a driver to possibly transport my team and didn't know we would actually sit down, talk about the possibilities of that and even more happening. So I'm definitely so thankful for you and the blessing
Yeah.
as well. I just look forward to, of course, tomorrow doing what we do at the after school program and the basketball games and seeing all the kids come and just laugh, talk, have fun, especially the brothers we had last week. I loved every bit of them, man. That was so fun. It was just heartwarming to see them
Yeah.
just enjoying everything from the time they walked in the door until they went home. Um, other than that, I really didn't have anything. Like I said, I just want to say thank you for taking the time out your busy day. Some of my days not as busy as yours because you be going crazy. Your days be boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
boom, non-stop, and you just don't stop. And like always, man, it's just a blessing to be able to have a vision and that vision starts to come to, because something about working with kids is something that I've always done, I've always loved to do, and it's just a
Okay, there
background
we
in
go.
me.
I had to. That's why I don't like touching my screen.
All right, you good. You ain't,
I was typing.
I'm gonna show you tomorrow when we sit down how you could do it from your laptop. It'll be so much
Okay.
easier for you. So you don't
I
got,
got an old laptop, so I'll be man.
yeah, I'll show you how to do it. But yeah, other than that, man, like I said, just appreciate you taking the time out. Anything that you want to say to the people before I take us out of here?
I want to say thank you to Coach JoJo. I want to say thank you to Level Up Sports 10. I want to say thank you to all my new friends. Thank you for inviting me to your podcast. I've never done anything like this. Jojo, he made me like put my money where my he made me do what I said I was gonna do. He said, "Oh, you want to do podcast? Oh, okay." So I just want to thank you. Thank you for everything you do. You are such a positive influence in the community. You've always been such a good person. Like I can remember when you was younger, you was always about your sports. You never got into no crazy stuff. You never was out here in the streets. Like you are the prime example of where some of these young men need to what direction they need to move in. So I just appreciate you for giving me these opportunities and expanding our program.
I don't know what to say after that. I gotta close this out after that. You cannot
Oh,
follow that like a Grammy speech. Um, we appreciate everyone tuning in today, this morning, as you get throughout your day and to your afternoon. FanDuel Zaya, Uncle WTP Sports Dudes. I know y'all busy with the kiddos, man, but I appreciate y'all tuning in as well. And all our other subscribers, man, make sure you tap in. We'll be at Linden Community Center tomorrow,
yeah,
4 o'clock to 6 o'clock. You could tap
yeah.
in. You got my email if you need to get a hold of me. You see my emails up. We'll be coming at you with more podcasts. I'm sure we probably come at you today with something gravy on the sports side because there's been some great action going on as well. But for now, this was all about the youth and the great
I'm
things that we have coming for the youth. And WTP Sports Dude said, "Peace, Coach Jen and Mossberg.
okay.
Peace to you as
I was
well."
gonna say, yeah, I was about to say thank you, WTP Sports Dudes. Thank you so much for introducing me to y'all,
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
welcoming me in.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And Fan Doze, he said the same thing. Thanks, Coach Jen. Appreciate you both. Great interview. We appreciate
Thank
you as well,
you.
Fan Doze. Parlay Poe, the whole gang, City League TV. Man, we gonna be doing this on a regular. We got more coming to you, and we'll be streaming live tonight. City League TV got that Walnut Bridge action 6 p.m. from the fairgrounds. So stay locked in for that. Other than that, man, this is Level Up Sports 10. This is your boy Mossberg, Moss B, and we are out like the ghosts on a Saturday night, and you can't see them. As we always say, peace. See you,
Bye.
Coach Jen. You have a great day as well.
You too. Thank you.
You're welcome.